two most recent NCAA champions will collide Monday at 5:30 Eastern on ESPNU when #1 Oklahoma visits #4 Michigan. Kathy Johnson-Clark, Sam Pesek, and I will be there for that one as well. We have a great one here in front of a record crowd in Norman, Oklahoma. These two teams separated by less than 4/10 of a point going into the fourth and final rotation. And speaking of rankings, here is the Road to Nationals top 10. These are the rankings as we head into the postseason. You see the Oklahoma Sooners, the only team in the nation with an average of over 198. And you see the rest of the top 10 there. We'll see all of those teams on the ESPN family of networks as we head into the postseason. Oklahoma scored last week a 198.575, a program record, the 5th highest score in NCAA history. Aaliyah Finnegan from LSU, 4 consecutive meets with perfect 10s, and Jade Carey, 2nd straight meet with 2 10s in each meet. So the best of the best in NCAA gymnastics. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. We're having a great fun night here in Norman, Oklahoma. What a season we've had going back to January 6th. We're getting ready for the postseason. Are you impressed with the quality of gymnastics that you're seeing this year in the NCAA?
Absolutely, and we're seeing it in a nutshell right here. When Oklahoma can be this good, when they're not doing their best gymnastics on every routine, that's fantastic. And Florida, Jenny Rowland has wanted to rest some of her athletes, and she was able to do that because of their talent and their depth. Those gymnasts that stepped into the lineup did a great job.
All right, let's take a look at the postseason schedule on the ESPN family. We have the SEC Championships, March 18th, the Big 12 Championships on that day as well. NCAA Regionals, March 29th through April 2nd. NCAA Finals will be down there April 13th in Fort Worth. And the NCAA Championship will be on ABC April the 15th at 4 Eastern. When we come back to Lloyd Noble Arena, the fourth and final rotation between #1 and #2. Bart Connor, Kathy Johnson-Clark, and Sam Pesek on the call as we go to the fourth and final rotation with the reigning NCAA champions, the Oklahoma Sooners, will be on the floor. And #2 in the NCAA, Florida, set to go on the beam. Sloan Blakely will be up first for the Gators.
You guys are watching her visibly breathe, and we had a chance to ask head coach Jenny Rowland about how she instills calmness in her team. Obviously, balance being the last rotation, and when you're trailing, makes it even more nerve-wracking. And she said, it's a deliberate choice for me to stay calm, even though sometimes I want to throw up. But if you get a glimpse of her, she always looks so relaxed. She said that she talks to her athletes about being in their red, blue, and green zones. Red zone is when you're stressed. Green zone is laughing, not really focused, and blue zone is the best for competition. And she said Sloan Blakely is actually the best athlete on her team about being in the blue zone. She's focused, she has tunnel-like vision, and you can visibly see her breath throughout this routine. I'm watching her do it now. It's a big reason of why she's the athlete in charge of leading off Florida on beam. Check out that breath. No big issues so far in this routine. Finishes, gainer layout full. Check it out. Her blue zone took her to greatness again here today, Bart.
Oh, she has had a terrific day for the Florida Gators.
You can always tell when she likes that routine, that little head tilt at the end. I got it.
Take a look at the meet summary as we get into this fourth and final rotation. Oklahoma has extended their lead to .375. In that last rotation, Jordan Bowers had a 9.95 on beat for the Sooners. We go now to the floor. Belle Johnson, the Norman, Oklahoma standout, now competing in her junior year for the Sooners. A walk-on who earned a scholarship as well this year.
Always such an entertaining performer on this event. With a combination from layout to Rudin.
7 of 8 times she's been in the floor lineup for the Sooners this season. A season high last week of 9.925. against West Virginia here at home.
She's with a double back here in tough position. Oh! So a good routine, just a little awkward on the landing of that last pass. I thought at first she almost rolled an ankle, but she handled it just well enough. Let's see, a little angle on her shoulders on that back handstand. Yep, she did. I thought I saw that.
It's interesting,
Left
this is
ankle
the
roll.
9th meet in the regular season, and these athletes have been competing at least once every weekend since early January. It does take a toll on the body, doesn't it?
We're exhausted. We're just talking.
Ellie Lazari now stand out for the Gators on the beam every time, coming after Sloan Blakely, a career high 9.95. What a day she had for Florida.
Ellie can be just a breath of fresh air on this event. So effortless, even on these difficult series, triple series with 2 layouts. It just makes it look easy.
She's been in the lineup all 8 times, season high 3 times of 9.9 here.
Beautiful position, full extension on those leap and the full split. Soft, floaty front area. You really want the combination of softness and supple arms in the dance, but very strong in the base, in the legs, and strength to control the landing of everything. Every single skill. Cartwheel, gainer full. Nice job. Oh, love this triple series. Tumbles all the way down the length of the beam. Finds that landing just a little bit deep in the landing with the chest forward, but I don't know what she's laughing about. I think maybe she turned to the wrong way and didn't salute the judge.
Hey, this is good news. Audrey Davis now has been moved into the lineup. She's doing the all-around for only the 4th time this season for the Sooners tonight.
Bart, I can't wait to see this routine. It's a very bluesy routine. She's so expressive. Opens with a front double twist, an E skill.
Bill Johnson led the Sooners off with a 9.725.
There's all lovely positions in her leaps. And the footwork we see her do on the beam, it shows up here on the floor. So exquisite. Back 1.5 front fold, difficult combination. The lines and the shapes that she creates in that routine are just glorious. I love it.
Great to see her in the all-around tonight. Her high individual score was on bars at 9.95.
And she did the difficulty with that front double twist and connecting these 2 twisting elements. Bonus in those combination passes as well.
The junior from Frisco, Texas, where she did her club training, originally out of Florida. A nice night for Oklahoma here in front of a record crowd. Kayla DiCella with my favorite mount in collegiate gymnastics. I love this.
I mentioned earlier, she's tied for 4th in the nation with Jordan Bowers on this event. She has just been a rock star in the all-around, really. She is so steady, no weakness. Opens with a double wolf turn. Difficult, and she hangs on, but that will be a deduction. When you break form, swing the arms, anything to correct your balance is a
Starting
deduction.
score came in for Audrey Davis on Flora 9-9. Both scores for Florida on beam so far, 9-9-5 and 9-9-2-5. Remember, these teams were separated by just less than 4/10 of a point coming into this last rotation.
She does her acro series at the end, toward the end of her routine. Another slight balance correction there. And gymnastics is always important, even if you've had a mistake early in the routine, to not make any more, because you never know which score is going to have to count. So good fight from start to finish. Not her best, obviously. On this double wolf turn, notice she's got a little shoe on that 1 foot so she can spin. She was off from the very beginning, was kind of ahead of herself with that swing leg. It just went around too quickly.
The early rounds of the Phillips 66 Big 12 Women's Tournament can be seen at Big 12 Now on ESPN+. It all starts Thursday at historic Municipal Auditorium in Kansas City. If you prefer to attend the events, well, tickets are on sale at big12sports.com/buy tickets. Audrey Davis had an impressive 9-9, and that brings up Danae Fletcher. Terrific routine coming up, Gabby.
One of my favorite. The music I just love, and the intentionality of her choreography is wonderful. Whip back to a double top. Not sure if you noticed, but no hands on that first skill leading into it. It's called a whip back. But she fought all the way through that full, got it around to her feet. A little shy of the split on the first leap. That was a highlight of the routine. I love that. You know what? That is just the right amount of sass and power together. That's love it. So she did the whip back. Most people do a back handspring into their double back. She does the whip back with no hands, and then a little bit off on that combination pass. Be a slight deduction, but love this. Look at the form on the 2.5 twist and the height off the floor. Love it.
Trinity Thomas, as we mentioned at the top of the show, chasing that perfect 10 record. Here she is on beam coming after Kayla DiCello had a 9.85. One of the great benefits of both of these teams having such depth is they can play with their lineups a little bit.
And you want to know something that's so great about Trinity Thomas? She just altered what she usually does out of that switch leap mount. Normally she goes right into another leap. She kept it in control and then did 2 leaps in a row to fulfill that requirement of a dance series. Smart, talented. Oh, lifted that foot. That balance correction is a deduction. Even when she's a little off, she's still beautiful to watch. And for young gymnasts watching, this is probably the routine you really want to see, because she shows you how you have to fight through things. even when it's not perfect, especially when it's not perfect. Side aerial, 1.5 twist, but she kept those feet still on the landing. So just a little bit off from start to finish. But she put on a clinic on how to make the adjustments necessary to not give more tenths away. And still show some beautiful work along the way.
Couple of notes from head coach Jenny Rowland for Trinity Thomas as we go back to floor. Danielle Sievers up for the Sooners. Danae Fletcher at 9.85.
Kathy, you were talking about the intentionality of these floor teams. Yesterday I was at practice and KJ Kindler was working with Danny Sievers on every single detail of her routine. And actually, specifically this dance move coming up, it's that detail-oriented that they work on every single eye move and point in that direction.
It's what makes their routine so special. It's one of KJ's favorite parts of coaching is creating these routines, from choosing the music and just the right style.
It's really important for her each year to come up with such a variety of routines so they don't have that cookie cutter music. And look, my goodness.
Oh, so much in that choreography. One thing you want to remind everybody, as hard as these athletes work, as athletic and talented as they are, they still need to and want to have fun. Because if you're not having fun, it ain't worth it.
Sure. Danny Sievers, Oklahoma, well known for a variety of different styles on floor, performing comfortably in front of this huge crowd with a good lead over Florida. Florida on the beam now with Leanne Wong, their only all-arounder, who has scored a 9.9 on bars and 2 9.95s on vault and floor today, having an outstanding day for the Gators.
An extraordinary all-around performance thus far, and she can be so good on this event. Her training from the time she was a little girl walking in the gym the first time has just been extraordinary and so evident in her work. Macro series here, Beckhandsome layout, step out. As I said, the combination of soft, so she landed soft and yet firm. A great beamer just becomes one with the beam. Even on this side choreography, you want to show no lack of balance. Double twist dismount here. If she can get the stuff landing. This is huge. Oh, hop to the side. Not quite. She wanted it so badly. Oh.
Leanne Wong, a member of the national team, last year gold medalist with the U.S. team at the World Championships.
She knew she had a good one going and just really wanted to hang on to this, but she was off center, had that left shoulder down, and no way to save that.
I mentioned those world accolades because these are not only some of the best gymnasts in the country, but in the best in the world. And Leanne Wong herself, an all-around silver medalist at the 2021 World Championships, and still has plans to represent the United States in international competition as an elite competitor, in addition to her work for Florida.
They were staying in the same hotel that we were, so I saw her at breakfast. I said, so when is your first elite thing after this season? I think it's like 10 days after national championships.
After a grueling week in and week out collegiate season. The last weekend of the regular season brings us some great college basketball games Saturday on ESPN and the app. Two of the top teams in the Big 12 square off at 4 Eastern, with number 9 Texas hosting number 3 Kansas. Then it's Duke in North Carolina, And at 10 Eastern, the top teams in the Pac-12 get after it. Number 4, UCLA, hosts number 8, Arizona. Faith Torres, 6th in the NCAA based on her floor national qualifying score, 9.945.
And this routine is packed with a punch. She is so powerful, and her technique, superb.
Oh.
Look at that double layout. Well done.
Danielle Sievers had a 9.925.
The judges look for the legs to be parallel with the floor, not one leg higher than the other. She has such a superb repertoire of tumbling skills. She can, pull anything out of her bag of tricks. And with a front through to a double back, difficult combination pass and sky high. Well, certainly no deduction for amplitude. I will tell you that. She gets off the floor. Shows great tumbling technique on the round up her handspring. Really sets everything up so nicely. Look at the rise in that double layout. And her combination pass is a front tuck. You have to tumble forward and backwards in a floor routine, and she does it so well.
Just a freshman will contribute a great deal to the Sooners as we head into the postseason. And here is Riley McCusker. This is her first time this season in the beam lineup for the Gators. Sam?
Yeah, Bart, and I asked Jenny Rowland why now? Why this far into the season? And she said, her training has been undeniable. She has really upped her game in the training, and you can tell that she has an extra edge, and she's ready.
Sam, she also said that every gymnast's timing is different, and now it is Riley's. Oh. So it looked like she just had like a split second of, I don't want to say doubt, just not following through strongly to finish that front aerial. She may have felt slightly off. Beautiful form, elegant on that back handspring out step out. So you see the work there. It's beautiful. Love that she was able to make that little correction between those leaps to keep them moving.
Florida has 5 hit routines on beam with the high score Sloan Blakely's lead off 9.95.
And the dismount, gainer full off the side. She was one skill away of just a glorious introduction to the beam lineup. And as I said, just right in the middle, she was just off, and that foot did not land squarely on the beam at all, and no way to adjust. See that.
So Florida's team score of 197.7 will stand because that will likely be the score they drop. They have 5 hit routines over there. Oklahoma has won this meet, as you can see, a 197.95. They can only add to it now with Jordan Bowers in this anchor spot. Faith Torres, a season-high 9.95 before her. The low score they're trying to replace in this rotation is a 9.725. So the Sooners have a chance to go over 198 for the 6th time in a row. That's miraculous.
Watch the intensity in this routine. And huge amplitude, high double back, and just drops it out of the sky. Davis pulls that front tuck out, but just barely. It's a little bit more split in that lead. So many goodies in that routine. That one tumbling pass they're going to have to deduct for. But I loved the intentionality, I'll use that word again, and her focus. But the amplitude on her tumbling, that first pass especially, was so good, but mistimed the punch out of the back 1.5. Or the front double. Wow.
As she was performing, the score came in for Riley McCusker, only a 9-2-7-5 for Florida. So as we said, Oklahoma will win this regardless of the score of Jordan Bowers, but Jordan Bowers will likely be the all-around champion today. We'll come back here to Norman, Oklahoma in a minute to wrap up this historic number 1 versus number 2. The Oklahoma Sooner gymnasts as they take down Florida by .25. The Sooners with a 197.95. Florida 197.7 in a 2 versus 1 matchup. One of the highlights of tonight was a perfect 10 from Olivia Troutman for the Sooners.
Oh, and it was a beauty. Blasted it off the table for great height, perfect distance, and of course, a stellar landing.
And the all-around champion tonight, Florida's Leanne Wong, the world silver medalist, delivers for the Gators 39.675 with 2 scores of 9.95 on vault and floor. What a great night from Norman, Oklahoma. Coming up next is Sports Center with Nicole Briscoe and Max McGee. For Kathy Johnson-Clark, Sam Pescick, and our entire ESPN crew. I'm Bart Connor. So long from Norman. A great night as we got a chance to see number 2 versus number 1. Remember, join us on ESPNU on Monday for Oklahoma, Michigan in the final meet of our regular season.
Jumping.